Commander Jack Harper slammed his fist on the metal desk. The sound echoed through his small office on the Earth ship Defiance. The message on his screen was clear. The Galactic Federation had said no. Again. They denied the help for Proxima B, he said, looking up at Lieutenant Samantha Wells. Our people are dying there, and they say the papers weren't filled out right. Samantha shook her head. Her dark hair was tied back in a tight bun, and her face showed the same anger Jack felt. That's the third time this year. What's the real reason? The same as always. We're Deathworlders. They're scared of us. Jack stood up and walked to the window. Earth shone blue and green below them. It was a world that had shaped humans into tough, adaptable beings. A world so harsh that most alien species would die within hours of landing. The Federation called Earth a Class 12 death world. Extreme gravity, deadly weather, dangerous animals, and countless diseases. But to humans, it was just home. Pull up the colony status, Jack ordered. A hologram appeared showing Proxima B. The human settlement there was in trouble. Their crops were failing because the Federation had blocked the special seeds they needed. Their medicine was running low because approval for human-specific drugs took years, all because of rules made by aliens who had evolved on gentle, easy worlds. 200 families, Jack said quietly. Kids, old folks, all struggling because some official thinks our papers aren't perfect. Samantha stepped forward. Sir, maybe it's time we stop asking for permission. Jack turned to her, eyebrows raised. What are you suggesting, Lieutenant? The Federation supply depot in the Arcturus system has everything Proxima B needs. Their security is designed to stop normal aliens, not humans. She smiled slightly. We can handle gravity that would crush them. We can breathe air they find toxic. Jack stared at her for a long moment. His whole career, he had played by the rules, filled out the forms, waited for approval, and watched as human colonies suffered. Get me everything on that depot, he finally said. Security patterns, guard rotations, environmental settings. Are we really doing this, sir? Samantha asked. Jack looked back at the message on his screen. The cold, formal rejection of help for dying people. They made these rules without thinking about worlds like ours. They never expected us to survive, let alone thrive. Maybe it's time to show them what Deathworlders can really do. He turned to Samantha, his decision made. Send a message to Olivia Blackwell. Tell her we need her skills. And contact Daniel Rodriguez too. The engineer. The one whose methods the Federation banned. Jack nodded. If they won't help us within their system, we'll have to work outside it. Samantha grinned. That's what humans do best. Sir. Jack looked once more at Earth below them. Assemble the team. It's time to bend some rules. Jack Harper sat in the secure meeting room of the Defiance. The ship hummed quietly around him as he waited. The door slid open, and Olivia Blackwell walked in. Her red hair was cut short, and she wore simple civilian clothes instead of a uniform. Commander Harper, she said with a small smile. When I left the Federation, I didn't expect to hear from Earth forces again. Jack stood and shook her hand. We need your knowledge, Olivia. You worked in their system for 10 years. And I quit because that system is broken, she replied. The rules are made by species who evolved on peaceful worlds. They never had to adapt like we did. The door opened again. Daniel Rodriguez entered, carrying a small case of tools. He was tall with broad shoulders, and hands rough from years of engineering work. The terraformer, Jack said, nodding. Thanks for coming. Daniel set down his case. The Federation blocked my methods because they work too fast. They prefer their centuries-long approaches. Meanwhile, our people struggle to survive. That's why we need you both, Jack said as Samantha joined them. We're going to help our colony on Proxima B, but we need to work outside the rules to do it. Olivia raised an eyebrow. You're talking about breaking Federation law. Bending it, Jack corrected. The supply depot at Arcturus has everything our colony needs. Materials, seeds, medicine. Things they would approve if we weren't human. Daniel crossed his arms. Security will be tight. But designed for normal species, Samantha pointed out. Not for Deathworlders like us. Olivia nodded slowly. The security systems are set for what would stop them. High gravity, toxic air, extreme temperatures, things that would kill them. But only make us uncomfortable, Jack finished. Olivia, can you get us the authorization codes? She smiled. I still have friends in the system. I can get codes that will pass basic checks. The door opened once more, and a tall man with dark skin entered. William Grant reporting. Sir. Jack nodded. Our security expert. William knows Federation defense systems better than anyone. Finally, a woman with glasses and a scientist's careful movements joined them. Dr. Alexandra Morgan. She introduced herself. Cynobiologist. Jack looked at the assembled team. What we're planning isn't exactly legal, he warned. Alexandra's face hardened. Neither is letting people die because of paperwork. I've seen what happens when colonies run out of specialized medicine. I'd rather bend rules than break lives. Jack activated the holographic display, showing the Arcturus depot. Our mission is simple. Get in, take what our people need, and get out. No one gets hurt. We're not stealing. We're taking what should have been approved anyway. William studied the layout. The atmosphere inside is toxic to most Federation species. To us, it'll just smell bad. Daniel grinned. And the gravity is twice Earth normal. They'd be crushed flat. While we'll just feel heavy, Samantha said. Jack looked at each of them. This is our chance to help our people when the system won't. Are you all in? They nodded one by one. Good, Jack said. We leave in 6 hours. The Defiance dropped out of faster-than-light travel near the edge of the Arcturus system. The massive supply depot floated ahead, a spinning metal structure that held supplies for dozens of Federation worlds. Jack sat in the captain's chair, watching the main screen. Status report, he ordered. No patrol ships in range, Samantha said from her station. Depot shows normal activity. Olivia worked at a console, her fingers moving quickly, sending fake authorization codes now. Basic clearance should get us close without questions. The Defiance moved toward the depot, its engines quiet. Jack turned to Daniel and William, who were preparing for the ground mission. Remember the plan, Jack said. In and out in 30 minutes. Take only what's on the list for Proxima B. Daniel checked his equipment. The gravity will be twice Earth normal. We'll be slower, but we can handle it. William nodded. And the air will smell like rotten eggs, but it won't hurt us. Federation species would die in minutes without protection suits. That's our advantage, Jack said. Their security expects intruders to need life support. We don't. The Defiance docked at a cargo port. Alarms would sound if they tried the main entrance, but the cargo area used simpler security designed for quick loading. We're in, Samantha announced. Docking successful. Jack activated the ship's comm. Ground team, you have 30 minutes. Daniel, William, and Alexandra moved into the airlock. As the door opened to the depot, gas hissed in. Their faces wrinkled at the smell, but they breathed normally. This would kill most aliens, Alexandra said, walking forward. The high gravity made each step harder, but her strong earthborn muscles handled the pressure. They followed the map Olivia had provided to the main storage area. Massive shelves held containers marked in Federation script. There, Daniel pointed. Agricultural supplies. William moved to another section. And medical kits here. They worked quickly, loading supplies into bags. The high gravity made everything feel heavier, but not impossible. They had trained for this. Alexandra found the medicine cabinet. This is the important stuff. Human-specific antibiotics. They'd been sitting here for months while our colony suffered. On the Defiance, Olivia watched the security feeds. Hurry, she said into her comm. A guard will pass that section in 5 minutes. The team finished gathering supplies and headed back toward the ship. Their muscles burned from the heavy gravity, but they kept moving. Just as they reached the cargo area, a sensor flashed red. "What's that?" Jack asked, watching from the ship. Olivia's face paled. "Secondary security system." It detected the missing supplies. An alarm began to sound, low and pulsing. "Ground team, run," Jack ordered. Daniel, William, and Alexandra sprinted the final distance, their bodies fighting against the crushing gravity. They reached the airlock just as Federation security forces appeared at the far end of the corridor. "Close it," William shouted as they tumbled inside. The airlock sealed shut. The Defiance disconnected from the depot, engines firing. "We made it," Daniel gasped, catching his breath. "But they know someone was there." Jack nodded grimly. "The Federation will be looking for us now. But we got what we needed." Alexandra opened one of the bags, showing medical supplies. "This will save lives on Proxima B." "That's what matters," Jack said. "Set course for Proxima. We've bent their rules, and our people will live because of it." The Defiance disappeared into faster-than-light travel, leaving the depot behind. Their first mission was complete, but the real challenge was just beginning. 1 week after the raid on the Arcturus depot, Jack sat in his office reviewing reports. The supplies had reached Proxima B. Children were getting medicine. Crops were growing with the special seeds. Their mission had saved lives. But the Federation had responded quickly. A message from Olivia appeared on his screen. "They'd doubled security at all depots," she said. "Added guards, more sensors. They know someone took supplies, but they don't know it was humans yet." Jack nodded. "What about the new security measures?" Olivia smiled. "That's the interesting part. They've added toxic gas releases, gravity fluctuations, and temperature drops. All things that would stop normal aliens," Samantha said from across the room. "But not us," Jack finished. "They still don't understand what they're dealing with." A new message appeared, marked urgent. Jack opened it and read quickly. "It's from another human ship," he said with surprise. "The Valiant. Captain Linda Reyes." "What does she want?" asked Samantha. "To help," Jack said. "Word of what we did is spreading through human space. She says there's a research station in the Ta Ceti system holding back medical treatments for human diseases." Daniel entered the office, looking at the message over Jack's shoulder. "I know that station. They developed a cure for Mars fever months ago, but they won't release it because of testing requirements." "Testing that would take 10 years, Alexandra added as she joined them. "Meanwhile, the mining colony on Mars needs it now." Jack stood up. "So we go get it, but this will be harder than the depot. A research station will have scientists, security teams, and they'll be watching for us now," William said. Alexandra stepped forward. "But I can get us in. The station director knows me from conferences. I can request a tour as a visiting researcher." "They'd never let a whole team in," Samantha pointed out. "They won't have to," Alexandra replied. "I'll go in alone. Once inside, I can access their environmental controls." Jack understood immediately. "And create conditions only humans can survive in." Alexandra nodded. "Exactly. I'll set the temperature to near freezing and reduce oxygen levels. Uncomfortable for us, but unbearable for them. They'll evacuate while I copy the research data." "It's risky," Jack said. "If they catch you." "They won't," Alexandra said firmly. "And even if they did, I'm willing to take that chance. People are dying who don't need to die, all because of rules that weren't made for us." Jack looked around at his team. What had started as one mission was becoming something bigger, a movement. "We're getting messages from 3 other human ships now," Samantha reported, checking her tablet. "They want to help. They've had enough too." Jack nodded slowly. "Then we coordinate. We show the Federation that when Deathworlders decide to bend the rules, we don't do it halfway." He turned to Alexandra. Plan your approach to the research station. Daniel, get ready to help her understand the data once she has it. William, work with Samantha on an extraction plan. As the team moved into action, Jack felt a mix of pride and worry. They were making enemies in high places. But for the first time in years, human colonies were getting the help they needed. The rules were being bent, and lives were being saved. Admiral Clerics of the Federation Security Council was not happy. The tall, blue-skinned alien paced around the council chamber, 6-fingered hands clasped behind his back. Around the table sat representatives from 12 different worlds, none of them like Earth. "This is the 4th facility breached in 2 months," Clerics said, pointing to the hologram showing the Ta City research station. Someone entered, changed the environmental settings to levels most species cannot tolerate, and copied restricted medical data. "Who would do this?" asked a small, furry counselor. "And why?" "Nothing valuable was taken." "Nothing valuable to us," Clerics corrected. "But the data taken was all related to diseases that affect humans." The room went quiet. "You think the humans are behind this?" asked another counselor. Clerics nodded. "I'm certain of it. Look at the pattern." The thief survived in an atmosphere with low oxygen and freezing temperatures. They walked through areas with radiation levels that would harm most species. But why steal medical research? We would have shared it eventually. After 10 years of testing, Clerics said. Meanwhile, their colonies need it now. On the other side of Federation space, Alexandra returned to the Defiance with a small data drive. "I got everything," she told Jack and the others. The cure for Mars fever and treatments for 5 other human-specific diseases. The station staff evacuated just as planned when I dropped the temperature and oxygen levels. Jack took the drive. "Any problems?" Alexandra shook her head. "They never suspected a thing. I walked out during the evacuation. The Valiant is already heading to Mars with the manufacturing equipment," Samantha reported. "Once we send them this data, they can start making the medicine right away." Jack nodded. "Good. What about the mining colony on Urava?" "Captain Eli Chen of the Intrepid is handling that," William said. "They're taking water purifiers that the Federation denied because of ecological impact concerns." Daniel laughed. "Ecological impact on Urava? It's a ball of ice. Rules made by species who never set foot on ice worlds," Olivia reminded him. Jack looked at the growing network of human ships working together. What had started with one desperate mission was becoming a coordinated movement. Meanwhile, back in the Federation Council chamber, Admiral Clerics made a decision. "We must communicate with the humans directly," he said. "These incidents will continue unless we address their concerns." "But they're breaking our laws," protested one counselor. "Yet they harm no one," Clerics pointed out. "They take only what their colonies need, what they should have been given in the first place." He looked at the hologram showing the path of suspected human ships. "They're Deathworlders. They evolved on a planet that would kill any of us in hours. Our security measures are useless against them. Our environmental hazards are their normal living conditions." "What do you propose?" asked the head counselor. "I will contact their commander personally," Clerics said, "before this becomes something worse than bent rules." As Admiral Clerics prepared his message, Jack Harper received word of another human colony in trouble. The people of New Eden were facing eviction because their world had been declared a protected environment by Federation scientists who had never visited the planet. "Looks like we have our next mission," Jack told his team. "The rules need bending again." Jack was reviewing plans for the New Eden mission when the communication alert sounded. The message was marked with Federation Security Council codes. "Should we ignore it?" Samantha asked, standing by his side. "No," Jack said after a moment. "Let's see what they have to say." The screen lit up to show Admiral Clerics. The blue-skinned alien's 4 eyes blinked slowly as he studied Jack. "Commander Harper," the Admiral began. "This is Admiral Clerics of the Federation Security Council. I propose a meeting on neutral ground to discuss recent Events. Jack kept his face calm, though his heart raced. These aren't events, Admiral. They're necessary actions to help our people survive. Actions we took because the Federation failed us. Clerics nodded. Perhaps we have. That is why I wish to meet. No tricks, no traps. Just talk. After ending the call, Jack gathered his team. It could be a trap, William warned. I don't think so, Olivia said. I knew Clerics when I worked for the Federation. He's tough, but fair. Even if it is genuine, can talking really help? Daniel asked. We've been filing complaints for decades. Alexandra looked thoughtful. But we've never had their attention like we do now. 2 days later, Jack met Admiral Clerics on a space station orbiting the neutral planet. The station's environment was set to be uncomfortable for both species, a small sign of respect that Jack noticed. Thank you for coming, Clerics said, gesturing to a seat. I'll be direct. Your methods are unacceptable, but your complaints have merit. With all respect, Jack replied. We tried acceptable methods for 50 years. They didn't work. Which is why I'm here, the Admiral continued. The Federation Council has authorized me to offer immediate exemptions on 17 specific regulations for human colonies, rules about environmental protection, medical testing, and resource allocation. Jack raised his eyebrows. Exemptions can be revoked. We need real change. Then help us make it, Clerics said. Join a special committee to review all regulations that affect Deathworld species, not just humans, but all species from harsh planets. You're offering us a seat at the table, Jack asked, surprised. Clerics' expression changed slightly. I'm offering partnership. The truth is, Commander, you've shown us a flaw in our system. We created a galaxy of rules based on what works for species from gentle worlds. Jack leaned forward. And what happens to the colony suffering right now, while we sit in meetings? Emergency aid to all human settlements, effective immediately, Clerics said, starting with New Eden. Jack was silent for a moment. It was more progress than decades of proper channels had achieved. This isn't just about humans, he finally said. There are other Deathworld species who struggle with your rules. Then they should have a voice too, Clerics replied. Will you help build a better system, Commander? Or will you continue to break the current one? Jack looked at the Admiral. I think it's time for something new. News of the meeting between Jack and Admiral Clerics spread quickly. On the Defiance, the team had mixed feelings. Can we really trust them? Daniel asked. After all this time, we don't have to trust them, Jack replied. We just have to work with them. And keep them honest. Olivia was already gathering data. I've been contacting other Deathworld species. The Krith from Helos Prime have gravity similar to Earth. The Vorani breathe air that would poison most Federation species. They're all facing the same problems we are, Samantha said, looking at the reports. Their colonies struggle under rules made for different types of bodies. Over the next month, Jack and his team worked with Clerics to create what became known as the Deathworlder Manifesto. It was a document that showed exactly how Federation laws hurt species from harsh worlds. Jack stood before the Federation Council, his team beside him. Representatives from 6 other Deathworld species waited behind them. The room was filled with billions more watching across Federation space. We don't want special treatment, Jack told the Council. We want fair treatment. Rules that recognize different biologies aren't unfair. They're just common sense. A counselor from a low-gravity world raised an objection. If we make exceptions for Deathworlders, where does it end? Our standards keep everyone safe. They keep some people safe, Jack corrected, while hurting others. Look at the data we've provided. Human colonies denied medicine because of testing meant for species with different immune systems. Krith workers banned from construction jobs because safety gear was designed for weaker bodies. Admiral Clerics stepped forward. The evidence is clear. Our one-size-fits-all approach has failed. We need new rules. The debate lasted 3 days. Some Federation species argued that changing the rules would lower standards. But in the end, most saw the truth in Jack's words. The result was the Deathworlder Accords, which established new principles. Safety rules must consider different biologies. Environmental ratings must include context for different species. Emergency aid cannot be denied based on paperwork alone. All new regulations must be reviewed by a mixed species committee. When the vote passed, cheers erupted from human colonies across the galaxy. The Krith, Vorani, and other Deathworlders celebrated too. Back on the Defiance, Jack watched the news reports with his team. "We did it," Samantha said. "We really changed things." By bending the rules first, Jack reminded her. They never would have listened otherwise. Olivia smiled. Sometimes the only way to fix a broken system is to break it a little. "What now?" Daniel asked. "Back to regular missions." Jack shook his head. "No. Now we make sure the Accords work. The real challenge is just beginning." On his screen, a message appeared from Admiral Clorix. "There's a situation on the rim that needs Deathworlders. Are you interested?" Jack looked at his team and smiled. "Tell him we're on our way." 1 year after the signing of the Deathworlder Accords, Jack stood on the surface of Proxima B. The human colony that had once struggled to survive was now thriving. New buildings rose in the distance. Fields of crops grew in soil that had been barren before. "Hard to believe this is the same place," Samantha said, walking up beside him. She wore the new rank markings of a commander, equal to Jack now. "It's happening all across human space," Jack replied. "And not just for us. The Krith mining operations on Hilos Prime have doubled their output now that they can use tools designed for their strength." They watched as a group of Federation engineers worked with human colonists to install new water purifiers. The aliens wore special suits to protect them from what humans considered normal gravity. "Did you ever think we'd get here by breaking the rules?" Samantha asked. Jack smiled. "We didn't break them. We just showed everyone their limits." He looked up as a ship passed overhead. The Defiance, now serving a new mission. After the Accords were signed, the Defiance had been reassigned. Now it served as a rapid response vessel for emergencies throughout Federation space. When disasters struck on harsh worlds, humans and other Deathworlders were the first ones called. Last month, they had rescued miners trapped on a high-gravity moon. The month before, they had repaired a station in an atmosphere toxic to most Federation species, but merely unpleasant to humans. What had begun as rule bending had become official policy. Send Deathworlders where Deathworlders were needed. Admiral Clorix transported down to the surface, his protective suit gleaming in the sun. "Commander Harper," he greeted Jack. "The Council is pleased with the progress here." Jack nodded. "It's amazing what happens when people are allowed to use the right tools for their biology. You've changed more in our systems in 1 year than formal diplomacy achieved in 50, Clorix admitted. "That's what Deathworlders do best," Jack said. "We adapt. We find ways to survive. Sometimes that means working with the rules. Sometimes it means working around them." As night fell on Proxima B, temperatures dropped to levels that would kill most Federation species. The alien visitors retreated to heated shelters, while humans simply zipped up their jackets and continued working. Jack watched the stars come out, thinking of all the worlds where humans now worked alongside the Federation rather than against it. The Deathworlder Advisory Committee was reviewing old regulations and creating new ones that made sense for all species. "We have a message from Earth," Olivia called from nearby. "They're asking if we'll help train the next group of emergency responders." "Tell them we're on our way," Jack replied. As he walked back to the landing area with his team, Jack felt a deep satisfaction. Sometimes rules needed to be bent, not out of disrespect, but because only by testing their limits could better ones be created. The universe was vast and varied. Now, finally, its rules were becoming the same way.